Hey, soul seekers. It is Intuitive Energy Guide Cathy Weiss here. Welcome to this week's episode of Monday Messages. I'm coming to you live from my reading room on the Central Coast of California and way stoked to be here today. I've got some really super important messages coming down for you guys about change and uncertainty and a couple of other things. Um, and I'm like, where do we start? Because there's so much good stuff. I'm going to start real quick with what I've got set up down here in front of me, and then we'll get into some more juicy goodness. And remember, at any time, if you've got questions or comments, shoot them down there for me so that we can have a little bit of a conversation as we go along today. So, first of all, I hear my co-healer Agnes moving around out there. She knows I'm distracted and she's probably headed for the cat food. Agnes, come on, come on in here. There she is. There she is. Oh, can you see her just a little bit down there? We'll see if we can keep her in the room with us while we do today's messages. So first of all, this is green tangerine. And this is a rare African quartz. It helps to soothe the mind. It's anytime, hey, Crystal, anytime my mind is going crazy, I reach for this guy. Over here, I have aquamarine. This is a very protective stone. It has a couple other properties, but the reason it's calling to me today is for the protection. And then here in the center is citrine. It's clear, it's got a little bit of like a yellowish tint to it. And citrine energizes, it enhances creativity, and it also supports wealth and prosperity. And some of you, if you follow me over there or over here on Facebook or on Instagram at lightworker_Cathy, you might recognize some of these from Monday Morning Energy Charge Up. Super fun new thing I started doing where I just pop some crystals that call to me over there, and then you find the one that calls to you, and I let you know what energy is supporting you for the week. So follow me somewhere so you can play along. And if you guys are into it, will you let me know? Because I'm kind of chewing on maybe like Wednesday, or not Wednesday, excuse me, like Fridays, like midday Friday, dropping one down for weekend energy charge up. That could be really fun. So y'all let me know. But let's drop into today's messages. So again, like last week and all through June, huge, massive energy around change. And that's represented by the color green. So like I am going to be greening you up all month long. And can I just shout out to Debbie because you inspired me to do my nails green, even though it's not quite the right shade of green. It's more like the green of this crystal and like the green of my shirt, but we do the best we can, y'all. So support the energy of change in your life by wearing green in some way or incorporating it into your life, okay? So a lot of massive change is coming down for all of us. And it's two things. It's either something that's kind of been slowly simmering and building its way up, and now it's like, ta-da, here it is. Or it's sort of this like, whoa, where did that come from sort of change. And like I said last week, this is positive change. But when we're faced with big, rapid, massive change, it can dredge stuff up. And a lot of the stuff that I'm feeling being dredged up for everyone, myself included, I am in the change like crazy townness with you guys right now. And it's bringing up a lot of uncertainty. And that's normal. And there's two things you need to know, way important things about uncertainty. Number one, certainty is an illusion. The outcomes in our life are always uncertain. Even if you're like, yeah, but Cathy, I'm in my awesome job and I love my life situation, whether you're married or single or, whatever that is, you're like, this is it and I am good and this is like my jam right now. Yeah, guess what? Tomorrow is still always uncertain, you guys. Okay, so with that in mind and change dredging it up and sort of like confronting you, like, guess what? Nothing's ever certain, my friends. Here's a whole big fat pile of uncertainty for you to examine. What I got this massive hit this morning that how we perceive our uncertainty is going to make or break that situation that we're moving into and all of this change, because we can perceive the uncertainty as negative and be really fearful and be like, oh, this change, I'm terrified because I don't know what's going to happen. And what if it's a total craptastic show and like everything falls apart and blah, blah, blah. Or we can be like, ooh, I have no idea where this is going. Oh my God, how exciting. I can't wait to find out what is going to manifest because of all of this uncertainty and all of this change, and how exciting it is to be faced with it. And that is what our guides really want us to know, is that everything is uncertain. As a matter of fact, the only thing that is certain is like each particular moment. Like in this moment right now, are you healthy? In this moment right now, do you have a home? In this moment right now, do you have a job? And if the answer to any of that is yeah, actually, Kathy, no, I don't, then it's like, okay, well, what do you have? What are you certain about? Even if what you're certain about is that you're feeling horrible and terrified and freaked out, that is the only certainty that you have. And so, like, dive into that. And as you view the uncertainty of the future, to do your very, very, very best to frame it as positive uncertainty and eagerness and excited expectation for the outcome that's arising from all of this change. And that is going to move you in a really positive direction. Okay. Okay, yes, I'm here. Like, I had to pause and like take a little listen, but like, yes, you guys are with me. You're understanding that. We might go deeper into that later if you've got more questions or you need to hear it again. Did you know you sometimes have to hear and see and interact and engage with a piece of information up to 40 times before it like clicks and becomes a part of who you are? That's just from brain research, guys. It's like scientific little factoid there. So know that we might hear this stuff about uncertainty come up again. But right now, what we're going to do is shift over into the channeled messages for today and a little bit more info. So really interesting when I grabbed my 2019 messages book, which is, dude, almost all the way full. I'm going to have to get a new one for us. Big, huge, ginormous, bold letters. When I write the messages down that way, it is like the universe and our guides are like screaming at the top of our lungs, like an urgency and an importance to the messages is like coming in with like so much power. I don't know what else to do besides write it really big to help convey the importance of it. So here's what it says. It says, you are not listening to your hearts. And we say, stop it. It's like, stop it, guys. So you're not listening to your heart, and your guides want you to stop. Stop with the noise. Stop with the playing the games with the uncertainty and the fear. And again, go into that positive feeling around the uncertainty, the eager expectations around it. It says you're guided every single day. You are. All of us are guided every day, and that guidance is in our hearts. Okay, like hear that. Our guidance is in our hearts. And so many of us aren't listening to it. But there's joy in there. And there is curiosity and there's eagerness in there. It's in here. It's not up here, guys. It is not in the logic. It's in the heart and the emotions. And our guides are saying, when did you stop listening? And why? We're a team, like your guides and you and me and source energy. We're a team. We're meant to be doing this together. And and so what is it that you're yearning for? Like really, in your heart, what is it you're yearning for? And it says the ladder is in place. Climb the ladder of love. So your inner wisdom, my inner wisdom, it's always talking to us. And it's just, again, when we're looking at change and we're looking at the uncertainty, we're looking at the fear side of it rather than the eagerness of it. Because with change, guys, there often comes a shedding of something. Something we have to let go of, whether it's a way of being, a job, a title, a friendship, a relationship, a home, a locate. Like there's so many things that come with change, right? I could go on forever listing them, but you get the point that often in the face of change, we're shedding something and letting something go. And it might feel like you're letting someone down or you're disappointing someone, and that's scary in and of itself. And so again, listen to your heart. You've got to start listening to your heart, and you've got to start trusting that the changes that you're being called to make are valid, important, necessary, the right ones. You can't go wrong when you're listening to your heart, even if it seems like you're being led astray. Your heart is your internal GPS. It's the one that's telling you where to go on your journey. And of course, it's not going to look like anyone else's because there's only one you and only one path for you. So the second piece of today's channeled message is a repeat, and it was written in one of my newsletters. So some of you may have read it, some of you may not have heard this yet or read it yet. And it's really important because in all of this change, what our guides want you to know really especially is that the universe is trying to create this rich tapestry of life and experience. And it can't do that if we're all doing the same things. It can't do that if we're all following a certain like prescribed way of being in the world because that's what other people have done. And that's also what's really scary is when you step out and say, yeah, but this is how I'm going to do it. But this is my pathway, but this is how I'm moving forward. That's meant to make life really rich and interesting, not only for you, but for all of us. And so here's the deal. You have a choice because those whispers are there. I guarantee you the whispers and the pathway are inside. And what you need to do to hear them is get quiet and still every single day. I mean, like turn off, not even like airplane mode turn off. I mean like actually like power off the devices. Sit still. You don't have to technically meditate because I get it. Sometimes like, oh, I'm going to sit down to meditate can get us into freak out mode. Like, here's what I did this morning. I set a timer for 5 minutes, sitting at my desk. My desk is completely empty except for a powered off laptop. And I had a cup of tea and I looked out the window and I watched the morning birds like hop around. That's what quiet and still is. It could be meditation if you want it to be, but it's really about like we've got to turn off all the dings and the bings and the notifications. And I mean, turn them off because even if you're on airplane mode, in the back of your mind, you know that your phone is on and you can grab it and peek at it anytime you want. Turn that crap off and start to hear the whispers. And they will come up and you will hear them, but they are whispers, guys. And so you have to get quiet and still. Here's the challenge. Next 7 days, oh, this is the number 5, thank you. Next 7 days, your challenge is for the next 7 days, 5 minutes a day. Set a timer, quiet and still. And that is the challenge. And I'm just now realizing I forgot to bring my little teacup hat to pull a winner for today's opportunity to get $100 off a package of 6 intuitive energy readings. So I'm going to work some magic on that in a second. Don't worry. Okay, so that's option number 1. You get quiet and still and do this 5-day, 7-day challenge where for the next 7 days, starting today, you set that timer and you just get quiet and still so that you can start to hear the voices, the whisper. It's not okay, it's not creepy like weird like blah voices, but so you can start to hear the internal whispers of your heart. If that doesn't work for you, I want you to remember that I have a special gift and other people have a special gift, but my real special gift is hearing those whispers when for whatever reason you're unable to. So if you dive wholeheartedly into this challenge and you're still at the end of 7 days are like, I have no idea, or I'm still really confused, or I'm still really fearful, that's when you're going to message me and we're going to start to talk about how I might be able to help you hear that. Because I guarantee you, your life's purpose is in there. Your joy is in there. Your journey is in there. I'm going back to the other part of the message, which is on a different page, but it was really important and I need to pull it back up. All of that is in there. I hope I can pull it back up really fast, you guys. But it was really loud. It was about that you're not listening to your heart. And I don't think I'm going to bug us by flipping through. But just know your heart knows the way and it's in there. And with all of this change, though, sometimes again, head brain can get in the way. And I understand that. I struggle with that too sometimes, which is why I'm like a huge proponent right now of powering off. Like I said earlier, not airplane mode, not sleep mode. OFF, turn it off. You're not going to miss out on anything. I swear. It's all going to be there in 5 minutes when you power back on, okay? So here's the deal. I have this deck of oracle cards called the Angel Dreams Oracle cards. And I have never used them for Monday messages. I've never used them for any of my intuitive energy reading clients. They've been sitting on my shelf for a while. And when I pulled them out, it was like there was no other option today, guys. It was, this is the deck. And I peeked at the guidebook, and the very first thing that I saw was how these cards can support you during times of change. And I was like, oh, there we go, because that's like the whole situation right now, is that we are in times of change. So I'm just going to shuffle the deck and see what we get here. And if anybody wants to like super fast shout out, oh, never mind, I lied, because the card, see, the card's sticking out. I was going to be like, y'all shout out and tell me where the card is. It popped its way out on its own. So that's the one we're going to go with. Let's see what we got. This is Lady's Mantle. It's a plant, right, or a flower. So Lady's Mantle, the flower. And what it says down at the bottom is Mother, Healing, and Alchemy. And I don't know a huge super lot about this deck because I rarely pull it out. So let's peek into the guidebook and see what the energy of Lady's Mantle is for us today. It says, this card is calling you to take the time to heal your wounds, whether those are physical, mental, or emotional, from the inside out. Amen. 100% I agree with that. When your wounds aren't healed, you lose life force energy, and this means you might feel drained or tired all the time. And I hear like the sound of a bell, like ding 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 ding, like that was it. 100%. Like some of you are feeling really drained or tired all the time, and some of that is in light of this massive change that's coming up, like this energy that's coming through for us. And so you do have to take the time to heal your stuff. Is that you, Crystal? Yeah, sister, I totally get it. And it says it's associated with alchemy, and it was believed that the leaves imparted wisdom. So this card is urging you to spread your knowledge to others as well and share your stories of inspiration. Big note on that, guys. And I'm a firm believer in this. Until you have healed the stuff, it's wise to hold off on the stories, because a lot of times you're processing and going through that transformation and you may not understand everything until you're at the end. And I do that here. Like when I say I am in the big fat middle of the change energy with you guys, I totally am. But until we get to the other side and I can see really clearly how all of that has played out, I'm not going to share you my personal story. But I promise you, I always do, and I always will when I've got all the pieces of the puzzle. So know that if, as this card is suggesting, part of your healing is to share your story, it's wise to wait until you have enough information to do that. 'Cause sometimes then you have to backtrack and be like, yeah, I didn't know what I was talking about, which is fine, right? It's fine, but I'm just encouraging you to think that through. It says you're being offered a sacred space, and you are receiving support, which is great. There is a need for you to work on forgiveness. I think that's kind of probably a process most of us are going through at some points in our lives. And studying alchemy would be beneficial to you. Yeah, if you're interested, Google that, right? Give me a second. I'm just hearing a little bit more information coming in to wrap us up today. It's just saying like to take a pause. not like us literally here right now, take a pause, but in your life to really digest and absorb this. This week's messages has a lot of information and it has a lot of energy coming through it. Like, if I could try to explain it to you guys, it's like I feel a really strong energy coming down through the crown of my head and out through like my heart and my solar plexus chakra to you guys. Um, and like just like absorb some of this and really look at who and how you're being in the face of change and uncertainty, and steer yourself into those positive expectations and steer yourself into your heart. And again, if you don't know how, I'm here for you. I can help you, and like reach out and say so in the comments or private message me. So I totally promised you guys that somebody's going to win $100 off of a 6 pack of intuitive energy readings. And I forgot my teacup hat. So here's what you're going to do. Comment that you are watching live. And by the way, I can see the stream and it shows up on the minute marker. So comment like right now, like, hey, Cathy, I'm here, or whatever. And I will go pull a name and take a photograph and post it so that you know who won. And I'm like literally going to do that in the next 2 minutes. So y'all have about 35 more seconds to comment, hey, Cathy, I'm here, for your chance to win that 100 off. Yes, I know, Crystal, that you've been here because I saw your comment when we first got started. But anybody else? Now's your chance, or it's all going straight to Crystal. Whoa, that could be pretty cool for you, sister. We'll find out in just a second, okay? So, thank you all so much for watching. And again, some of you have questions, and don't be shy. You can private message me. Happens all the time. I have a lot of really interesting private convos that happen behind the scenes. Um, I really want to support you through this energy because it's pretty wicked in a good way, but wicked in that it's dredging up a lot of stuff for us too. So let's get through this together, okay? Because I love you. And Crystal, no one else commented, so guess what? You win, sister. And I'm gonna private message you how to get that. Okay, in just a minute. I love you guys. You're awesome. Have a beautiful rest of your week. And I'll see you next Monday. Namaste. Bye, guys.